When I was 15 or 16, Bud and I went 2 different summers, went out to Wyoming, to the land. But mainly we went to the Sylvan Ranch, which was just right outside the town of Buffalo, very close. In fact, it's Silver Creek, Clear Creek that runs through Buffalo, runs right by their farm or ranch. And I can remember in the bedroom I was in, I jumped out of the window into the creek the next morning when I got up one morning. And they had about 12 riding horses, as I recall. And Bud and I just spent lots of time riding horses. And my horse, they assigned me a horse named Potty. And it was a big, fat bellied, short legged. It didn't look like much, but it was a wonderful, smart horse. And we would go out nearby in the plains, and there were these bluffs that just suddenly rose out of the plains there, and they'd be 200-300 feet high, and they had these trails, and you could ride up these trails in there, and you get up and they're hundreds of feet down. And I remember Potty used to, I'd take her down, going down, and they had shale rock, and it was so steep that Potty would take all 4 legs and just slide down. We'd go sliding down this trail. And so those were my memories of going out those 2 summers, Wyoming. And then one time, Bud had his 1933 Ford, and I would go out, he'd have me drive, and he'd sit with his legs around the headlight on the front fender, and I'd drive across country, and he'd shoot rabbits.
Jackrabbits.
Jackrabbits. And we came upon one, I don't remember what the situation was, but we stopped, and Bud got off to follow it down a little ravine, and down in there was a skunk, and he got skunked. And he came back, and he was so smelly, he took all his clothes off and hung them on the spare tire on the back of the car, so he wouldn't
stink up inside the car.
Yeah, and so that didn't work. It was all over the car, and he drove it for a while, and he just couldn't stand the smell of the car, so he got rid of it.
But you never encountered snakes?
No.
Rattlesnakes?
No, never did. I don't ever recall any. And one time, I don't remember, we were driving someplace from one point to another at night, very late at night, and the jackrabbits would come in cycles. They would thin out and then get real thick. And this time there were so many jackrabbits that the road became greasy with their blood.
Ooh.
Just smeared, and you could see them in the headlights, just hundreds of jackrabbits. They just took over. And
they were overpopulated.
Overpopulated. And we camped out one night, and I was sleeping on this cot we had, and I got cold. I woke up and sat up, and here, the way the moon or something was shining, all these thousands of eyes are staring at me. All these jackrabbits all around.
Oh my gosh. That's funny.
That's about the end of my stories.